Welcome back to Oulton Broad, where the F2 Cats are lining up for their second heat in this opening round of the Powerboat GP British Championship. Starting grid is the same order they finished the first heat, which means Malcolm Goodman is back on pole.
So it's Malcolm Goodman then in that pole position spot. Next to him is Alan Marshall in boat number 34. Next to him then, Sven Hammer in boat number 50, and Malcolm Goodman did not get away, and Ian Andrews also, the two Optimax engines not firing up, and that's given Alan Marshall in 34 the run up towards the top turn. Three boats then going into the turn. Watch this, because Malcolm Goodman is already there and gets through on the inside. Wow, that was bully boy tactics. And that's Ian Andrews all out of shape, but all out of control and almost into Graham Palfreyman. And the first turn is always a bit iffy, but they all make it safely round and all eventually avoided each other. But Malcolm Goodman now has the clear advantage of having all the clear water ahead of him, as Graham Palfreyman really now being relegated to quite a way back down the field here. So we are on board then with Sven Hammer in boat number 50, and Hammer then finishing in that third position spot in the first race, finding himself pretty much in the same position in this race as we ride on board with him again. You can see now the boat's coming towards us. Still, there is a chance then for Ian Andrews to catch up with Sven Hammer. And number 9, Ian Andrews, having a much better race this time. He had a better start, although the boat initially did not get away from the start too great. But now he seems to have made up some time from somewhere. So Sven Hammer just ahead of Ian Andrews, and Ian Andrews now chasing hard. But Hammer looks in control of things at the moment. He's in third position, but he's also trying to catch up with Alan Marshall as we ride on board with Hammer back down the racecourse. And you can see there that the visibility is not too great. When it's overcast, the visibility in one of these boats is not exactly fantastic. And Hammer's is probably worse because he does run with the tinted screen there, as you can clearly see. So Hammer still in that third, but back with the leader, Malcolm Goodman, in an Italian-built DAC boat that is all made of composite materials. Now we ride on board now with Malcolm Goodman, and you can see the concentration now in his eyes as, well, he's leaving his teammate a little bit behind at the moment, but Ian Andrews there is getting held up, I think, by Sven Hammer. Hammer seeming to manoeuvre the boat a little bit better in the corners, and I know that Sven Hammer really, over the past year, really hasn't been too happy with how the boat had settled into the corners on the turns, and in fact rolled here on this racecourse 1 year ago. So back on board with Ian Andrews then as we come down the racecourse. The actual race setting is in front of a park. It's on a broad, and the water does get very choppy. The wind is also a factor here on this very tight racecourse, and it does channel down the race circuit, so the drivers have to be on the trim buttons all the time. 34, Alan Marshall then, second position. He'll be quite happy with that second position with that boat. He's had the boat a few years now. He's very comfortable with how it handles. He knows the boat isn't going to do anything nasty to him. He knows that he's in full control of everything. But now we're back on board with number 90, Malcolm Goodman, and you can see the rear shot then, the rooster tail. And when you're behind a rooster tail, as you've just seen there from Malcolm Goodman, it is really like driving into a snowstorm. So Malcolm Goodman then coming up now towards the closing stages of the race. He's not going to have enough time to lap third position, Sven Hammer, because the checkered flag is ready, and Malcolm Goodman makes it 2 out of 2 here at Oulton Broad. It's a perfect day for Goodman. Alan Marshall collects second position, and once again he'll be happy with that slot there. And third place will go to Sven Hammer in boat number 50. There we have it, the results there. Malcolm Goodman wins Heat 2. Alan Marshall is second, and Sven Hammer in third place.
Malcolm looked easy, but I can see by the perspiration it's hard work out there.
Yeah, it's tough out there. That crosswind is quite tricky, especially blowing straight down the course. It's getting right underneath the boat. Pretty tricky to keep it on the water sometimes, but it's okay.
Alan, another race, another second place. What are you going to do about this flying man up in front of you?
I'm not quite sure what to do about him, but there's two kinds of people that drive around the course. There's Malk and there's me. The only thing I can do is get him on the start. Now, this time, I got a bit further up the lake before he came past me. So this afternoon I'm going to squeeze him out on that commitment buoy. That's my plan.
So as we go into the third and final race, you can see the results there as they stand from the first two heats. Can Malcolm Goodman make it 3 in a row is the big question.
There are 4 other classes racing this weekend, which means there's 12 more action-packed races to entertain the bank holiday crowd.
So 3 monohull classes race over the weekend, including the GT15s, the GT30s and the Mono 70s. Also this weekend was the hydroplanes in the format of the OSY 400cc class, and the smaller of the catamaran classes in the format of the F4s.
So there's just one race to go, the third heat for the F2 Cats. Malcolm Goodman may well have won the first 2, but he still needs to finish this one to claim overall victory and those valuable championship points.
All eyes are on Malcolm Goodman, and his eyes are on the start lights as we go into the third and final race of the day for round 1, and Malcolm Goodman didn't get away again. That boat really not getting off the line. They go into a light sequence at the start of these races, and it's just the same as Formula 1 car racing. When the lights go out, the drivers go from a dead engine start. And Malcolm Goodman really not on the button here. I know last year he started one of the races early, and it cost him a lot of work really. But here we go, back to the race, and it's lap number 1, and Goodman really already trying to catch up, and he's trying to catch up with Alan Marshall, and they're going about 110 miles an hour down this straight. And Goodman now finds himself on the outside. He's trying to pick his way through on the outside of Alan Marshall. Alan in number 34 now looks across, and Malcolm Goodman goes through on the outside. And that just demonstrates really the power of the new Optimax engine. And in the meantime, well, we've still got Sven Hammer, but he's now being overtaken by Ian Andrews. And Ian Andrews in boat number 9 really during the course of this weekend has really got to grips with that new boat. Both Malcolm Goodman and Ian Andrews this weekend go into boats really which they didn't know how they were going to fare against the other competitors. So Sven Hammer then number 50 relegated down 1 position. Ian Andrews then in number 9 is in that 3rd position spot, and he really is looking to be a bit more of a threat now as we come into this final race. So Sven Hammer then really backing off at the top turn there. You can see the water really beginning to chop up as we go through into the middle part of the race. And Alan Marshall hasn't really got an answer, has he, this weekend for Malcolm Goodman in boat number 90, but number 9 then, Ian Andrews trying to catch up as we just go on board with Carl Wigg. He's got Graham Palfreyman. Graham was the rookie driver in 2011, but it's Carl Wigg who was the rookie driver, an ex-hydroplane driver in actual fact, who is the newcomer really in this opening round of the Powerboat GP Championships. Malcolm Goodman then round the wherry turn, and we ride on board then with Malcolm Goodman. Maximum concentration from the young man from Liverpool. He's from the Lancashire Powerboat Racing Club. In the meantime, Ian Andrews still then trying to find an answer to Alan Marshall, but Marshall at the moment is just that little too far ahead of him. It does get rough, and that's a problem. And that's the race leader, would you believe? And that is Malcolm Goodman out of the race. The engine has stopped. Can he get it to start? It doesn't start, and Alan Marshall goes through and takes the lead on 34. Would not be expecting to see that sight, and the disappointment then on Malcolm Goodman's face as Alan Marshall takes the lead. So 34, but look out, because Alan Marshall on the outside has got Ian Andrews, who looks to be threatening to take the lead away from Alan Marshall. And can Marshall's lead be defended, or is it going to be short-lived? Because we go up to the turn and Marshall is on the inside, that's the advantage, and Ian Andrews storms through. Wow, Ian Andrews on the outside of Alan Marshall then goes through and he takes the lead. So boat number 9, a great drive from Ian Andrews. Well, it's been a long time coming. Ian Andrews has dabbled around in Formula 2 for a few years now since he retired from Formula 3, and looks to be really on top form then for this third and final heat. And look at the, you can see the expression on his face really says it all. It takes a lot out of you driving one of these Formula 2 powerboats. And Ian Andrews, number 9 then, wins the third and final heat for the Formula 2 Powerboat GP. So there we go, Ian Andrews is the final winner of the third race. Alan Marshall collects the second position and Sven Hammer in third place.
Ian, fabulous race.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's nice to be up among the funks again, and hopefully it set me in good stead for the rest of the season now.
Is this a bit of a comeback to the sport? Then is it a while since you've been up the front?
It is. I've had a few years on and off just keeping my hand in every now and again, but my last World Championship was in 2000, so yeah, looking to lose a little bit of weight to get back into it again now.
So consistency is the winner of the day, with Alan Marshall with 3 second positions secures him the victory overall, with Ian Andrews in second and Sven Hammer in third place.
Well, that's it from Oulton Broad. Make sure you join us next time for more Powerboat GP.